My older sister thought she could ruin my life and still come crawling back when everything fell apart. She picked the worst possible person to try that with. My sister is 3 years older than me and has always had a talent for turning every situation in her favor. If something went wrong, somehow the blame would end up on someone else. Most of the time, that someone else was me. I'm the younger sister in the family, so somehow I was always the easiest one to blame. About 10 years ago, she accused me of stealing money from her, completely made up. She had blown through her own money and decided blaming me would solve the problem. My parents believed her immediately, no questions asked. I got grounded for 3 months. Phone gone, no friends, no leaving the house except for school. Meanwhile, she walked around like she had just exposed some massive crime. I never forgot that. Fast forward to now, my sister is married to a guy named Eric. Eric is one of those people who constantly talks about big plans, but somehow never manages to keep a job for more than a few months. For a while, they seemed fine, but eventually the problems started stacking up. First, he lost his job. Then he jumped between random side gigs that never lasted. Bills piled up, rent got harder to pay. Anyone looking at the situation could see it heading straight for disaster. Eventually, they sold their apartment and moved somewhere cheaper. That didn't last either. Over the past year, I occasionally heard bits and pieces about their situation from relatives. Missed payments, borrowed money, promises that things would improve soon. Every time, the story sounded slightly worse than the last one. Still, I stayed out of it. We barely spoke. Anyway, a few weeks ago, my phone rang. It was my sister. We hadn't spoken in months, but suddenly she was acting unusually friendly. The kind of friendly people get when they need something. 5 minutes into the conversation, she finally said it. They had just been evicted, and apparently she believed the obvious solution was moving into my house. My husband and I live in a small but comfortable place. 2 bedrooms, a small office, and a quiet routine that we like very much. The last thing we needed was chaos moving into the spare room. She immediately started explaining how temporary it would be. Just a few weeks, maybe a month at most. She said they only needed somewhere to stay while they figured things out. But I already knew how that story usually ends. Temporary situations have a funny way of becoming permanent when the people involved have nowhere else to go. So instead of saying no right away, I gave her a different answer. I told her she could